Hey Gearspace, this is Superbooth 2021. I'm Chris, working for Expressive-E, and I'm here to give you a little update on the Osmose project. Perhaps you've already heard about the instrument. It's a polyphonic synthesizer uh, with a special keyboard action, an augmented keyboard action as we like to call it. So we thought about possibilities to expand the ways that you can play with a keyboard instrument. Before, normally you would have only like an on-off switch. You decide when you play, how hard you play, and when you let go of the key. But we've added additional dimensions to that standard keyboard while respecting the skills that you have already acquired over the years. So what we do is we scan the position of each key at every time. So you can play the instrument with the slightest touch. This is the first pressure phase dimension, and after that you have a pressure point, and then comes the high quality aftertouch, several millimeters of key travel still, and then you can go sideways to bend the knee, bend the key as well. Now I'm going to show you that it's well possible to have this all polyphonically, so it's independent on a per key basis. Let me just find, and drop the mic for a second. To really make the keyboard action play well with a synthesizer, we've partnered up with Harken Audio, and we have their Egan matrix inside of it. It's a powerful 24-voice polyphonic synthesizer, which is modular, which not only features subtractive synthesis, but also frequency modulation, physical modeling, and all kinds of other aspects of synthesis. And the most important thing about it is that it accepts all the data that is sent by the keyboard, so you can really play lots of real-time modulations and really have the engine react to exactly what you do on the keyboard. So I'll just give you another example of the sounds that the thing can do, the Beast. So this bass sound is actually a good way to show you one of the more advanced features of the thing itself. So the project, we had lots of delays due to COVID actually. So while the hardware part was a little bit on stop due to the lack of electronic components and due to the fact that we couldn't visit the factories, we took the time to develop some features on the side of firmware together with Harken Audio. So what we've implemented here is a pressure-weighted portamento. What this does is it allows to play delicate portamento, not with a fixed portamento time, but with a portamento time or a sliding between notes that depends on what you actually play. Even though it's a segmented surface, a normal keyboard, you can play portamento that way. So I'm just going to show you how that works. What it does is within a certain range that you can define, and in this case it's an octave. When you play two notes after each other, as soon as you play the second note, it is going to drift that pitch into the direction of the second note, but it's not going to do that immediately. It's going to do that based on the balance, how much you press one of the other notes. It makes more sense if I just play it like that. So what I'd like to show you now is a brand new feature that we were able to implement because we had to wait a little bit for the hardware side due to COVID. So while we weren't able to enter the factories to progress on the Osmose, and while we had the shortage of electronic components, we could at least develop some stuff on the side of the firmware. So there's a pressure-weighted portamento feature that we implemented with Osmose, which is kind of cool because we have this segmented surface. So we thought about ideas how we could make continuous glides and slides possible, because this is what people request. And together with Harken Audio, we came up with a pretty cool idea. So what we did is once you press, if you play monophonic sounds, once you press the second note, it's not going to immediately turn the pitch up to that note, drift the pitch up to that note, but it's going to respect the balance between the two notes that you play at a time. It makes more sense if you hear it. So I'm starting with this flute sound. So at the moment that I press another note, it's going to compare the pressure that I apply to that note with the pressure that is applied to the first note. So it's like a balance, like wiggling between those keys, and the pitch goes up and down depending on how fast you play, which gives you delicate control over the pitch, although it is a segmented surface, so it can sound like that. Another feature that we implemented is an ampere arpeggiator. Due to the fact that we know the position of each key at every time, arpeggiators are now, with Osmose, not that static anymore. Instead, you're able to take into account each note and make an emphasis on certain notes within your pattern, and also use the different dimensions of the keys to add additional modulation. You're gonna see it when I play something for you. So apart from the internal synthesizer features, apart from the Egan matrix that is built in, Osmose can also be used as a controller, as an advanced controller for all kinds of external MIDI instruments. So obviously it does support MPE, the MIDI standard where you can modulate each note individually in a polyphonic context, but it's also downwards compatible, so to say, to other more common workflows like the basic MIDI standard. For this, we've got a dedicated menu, so you switch over to the external menu and then you choose whether you want to set MPE data, whether you want to set regular mono channel data with, let's say, polyphonic aftertouch only, or whether you want to play in a plain piano mode, so to say. And due to the fact that we've got a cool keyboard that really feels like a synth action as well and feels really pretty familiar, you will be able to control all your synthesizers from that surface. When it comes to compatibility with third-party software, with DAWs, we also going to prepare lots of presets for you when it comes to MIDI presets, though you're able to get it working directly together with all the MPE compatible software, but also with other software that is very common on the market. So we did some surveys about that, so we're well aware of the fact that we're gonna help people when the unit comes out, that they can get started right away to not only play it with the internal sounds but also interface it with all the stuff that they're already using. So I already know that a lot of people will ask this question. So just to give you a little bit of a backstory to that, it started out as a project like 4 years ago already, and lots of people have already put in a reservation. And at this point, we'd also kindly like to thank you very much for all the people who already supported us with putting in a reservation. I know there are lots on Gearspace as well who are part of that, so thanks for that. And we had to face some delays, and mostly due to the COVID. But now, as you can see, this production, this unit here is really one of the things that comes directly before we are launching the mass production. So there's mostly aesthetical things. Due to the fact that we had the support of the people, we were able to not rush things, but really take quality seriously. So we're still going to refine the finish on some of the plastic parts around the body. We're working that the screen protect the glass, like this becomes visible or stays visible even at bad angles. Stuff like that is being adjusted as well. The last little changes to the feel of the keypad so that it's really top notch. So now that we have more prototypes here, we're able to invite more people. And this is also the occasion here at Superbooth, where we have every 15 minutes people coming around and giving us their opinion about the feel, how they like the product. So when it comes to this big question, when will it be available? Is that right now we're just before launching the mass production. As soon as this has happened, we're going to know exactly how many units are going to come out of the factory each day, and only then we will be able to give really clear dates to the people, and we're going to ship that in the order of the reservations that came in, so that everybody gets the unit, and only after then, when all the kind supporters of us got their unit, we're gonna enter the regular market, so to say. So we keep you informed on our website. Obviously, our backers will receive mailing newsletters so that everybody knows approximately when the unit's gonna be arrived. But a little bit more of patience. But as you can see, it's already beautiful, and we're shortly before being able to tell you more about the dates. So thanks so much. This was the Osmose at the Expressive-E booth. And yeah, cheers, Gearspace. Thank you for taking the time to watch this.